It was
Hello.
fast. It was faster this time. I was still retweeting. Let me get the retweet off real quick. But welcome everybody to the Philly Blitz Pod. I said the Philly Blitz Boys. No, it's the Blitz Boys. Come on now. Um, we're a little short-handed today. I think we have been for the last couple of weeks. It kind of sucks, dude. All three of us haven't been together in so long. But episode 122. Let's see,
Typical
23.
Philadelphia Eagles fashion.
I know, dude. We can't put it all together at once. We're all over the place, man. Um, let me see. Let me put this on mute. Okay. Sorry. I don't know, dude. I'm put off because the song wasn't long enough this time. We messed it up because producer P is not here. But it's Philly Blitz Pod 122, brought to you by 14th and Market. I'm Parth here with Quell. A little throwback to the Philly Blitz P's and Q's pod day, if you will. We've had a couple of these this season, but how are you, brother? It's been a while.
Yeah, man, it's been a while since we had a chance to talk some birds. Well below dub dub to those who celebrate. It is Adam, one and only Marquell Fripp Owens. I'm not sure it's really sunny in Philadelphia right now. Not really sunny.
No, dude. I'm not even in Philly, and I know that it's just storming there, dude. It's horrible. It's horrible, man. Two pods I don't come on, and all of a sudden we're just dropping two games. I'm like, what is happening here? Can we just have some peace and quiet without having to just be disturbed? And the thing is I wasn't able to come on to the Giants pod. I had a bad feeling, man. The way that it ended, and I was just like, dude, the Giants are gonna make this their Super Bowl. And that's exactly what it looked like. And that's literally what it looked like. And it was painful because it seemed like the Eagles went in there expecting, let's just get out of here with a W. Let's get to the mini bye. And the Giants came there to play. And it was painful, man. That was a painful game. A game of two halves again for the offense, where it's just like, okay, you can look surgical for one half, and then all of a sudden the second half, it's just like, it hits the fan. I don't know, man. How are you feeling, bro?
So I went and rewatched the game early on just to get a good feel before the pod. And I must say, in all honesty, that was the biggest piece of dog crap I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, everyone's laughing. But then, it's true. Dog crap. That was dog crap we watched out there. And it's not even like it was the hard dog crap that was sitting there for 7 days. That was like fresh shamar poo. That, buddy, that
Fresh Shamar poop is crazy.
Felt this bad watching a football game in so long. And we joked last week about, yeah, this is what it feels like to lose. Forgot what it feels like this for poverty franchises. And then they come out and operate in this fashion. It's like, oh my goodness, what just happened? And I mean, kind of like you said about the feeling. I ain't think I wouldn't necessarily call it a feeling. I felt pretty good about the game, as you could tell from the preview pod last week. But then when Jalen Carter got ruled out, it was like, oh, okay, something to keep an eye on. And all I could think back to was the Dallas game where, I mean, they held their own after a while, but it was not pretty. It was not pretty. And then, it was late in the first quarter, when Q went out, it was like, oh.
Dude.
It was like flashbacks to Bradley Fletcher and Kerry Williams days, war wounds and war stories, which is watching two cornerbacks. Lil Jordan Humphrey, brother. Lil Jordan Humphrey just went and gave Keely Ringo a head top. I knew once the game started that way, it was like, okay, I see what type of day this might be.
Yeah, dude, it's we'll see if he can work his way back to a starting spot, but it's probably curtains on the Keely Ringo experiment, man. It was just painful to watch. And then Adoree Jackson was not much better, and that's what sucks. And that's what we've been talking about all year. That hey, this cornerback 2 spot could be an issue, and this is why I said like, hey, this defense is going to be good. It has talent, but like last year was like the perfect mix, man. Last year we were talking about, dude, those days of the Bradley Roby days, the Kerry Williams days, we were those Bradley Fletcher, those days are gone, and we're right back in them, dude. And it's painful, brother. It is painful to. We got so used to it last year of just like taking for granted that hey, like your corners, they're gonna play well. They don't even need help. Like just just put them out there and they're going to figure it out. And this year we're like, oh, this is what happens when you don't have a good corner. This is what happens when you only have one good corner and he gets injured.
But that I was about to say, like, whether it's Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson, I mean, of course, both of them have their flaws at the cornerback position, as we've seen. I think all of this is manageable in the situation where Quinyon Mitchell doesn't get hurt.
He's healthy.
The
Right.
moment Quinyon Mitchell goes down and you sit there and these aren't just two cornerback twos anymore. One of them has to go play cornerback 1 and
Yeah.
the other one just still stinks. So it's like, oh my goodness, what do you do? And I mean, this isn't to absolve fault from the rest of the defense at all. The tackling was horrific, man. So many times they had Cam Scatterboo, Jackson Dart bottled up in the backfield, specifically Jackson Dart, and he was just out 88 and out the gate.
Bro, and to that point, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it just felt like the whole night, it didn't feel like they were attacking. It felt like they were catching tackles. And I can't stand it when that happens. Jihaad did that with Jackson Dart on the sidelines. Jackson Dart put his shoulder down onto Jihaad, and it's like, dude, you have to be in attack mode. And I get it. It's the sidelines. It's like a weird place. But like that felt like a microcosm of the entire night where it was just like the Giants brought the punch and the Eagles were like, all right, let me try to bring you down. Or that the end zone, right, where Adoree puts down the shoulder against Cam Scatterboo, and then Zach Bond is like being dragged and Cam's just going forward. It's just, oh man. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's exactly
what you're saying is exactly right, man. Mike, we've continued to bring up the soon to be forbidden word because I'm sick of hearing about it, but we've continued to bring up the 2023 season and some of the similarities, some of the differences, why this could or could not be that. I haven't felt like this since that 49ers game, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
bro,
the problem with this football game wasn't that the Eagles lost. I mean, the Eagles could lose. They're playing really bad football right now. It isn't just that how the Eagles got blown out. Eagles can get blown out. That happens to bad. I mean, good teams get beat all the time. The problem is you guys look soft on both sides of the football.
How it happened. Exactly.
Just got bullied on both sides of the football. And what's so frustrating about it is when on one side you look at Saquon Barkley, who he started the game off just like the last couple of weeks. He started the game off real hot. With the first couple rushes, I believe the stat was the Eagles had 18 design rushes on the night. 61 yards to show for him on those plays. 31 of those yards came on the first 2 plays of the game. So that goes to show you how much he struggled later on. And not just he, but Jalen Hurts as well, even though the minimum of design runs that they use with him. But just rushers as a whole, they struggle. And then you look at the other side of the ball and you look at how Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo combined for 156 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns.
Back-breaking stuff, dude. Just back-breaking.
Ouch, man. Ouch.
You just got bullied, and I'm glad you said it that way because that's exactly what it is. It's like you went in there and you were like, oh, we're gonna win this game, whatever. Let's get to the next week, and they came in and they bullied you. They wanted it more, and that's what's worrisome, right? Because we made the comparisons, and we'll leave this topic after this because I really don't want to talk about it, and I think I'll explain it in a second. But basically, like we made the Chiefs comparison, where it was like, all right, the Chiefs were winning games like that, and the Chiefs lost a game to the Broncos, right? They went like 9-8 or 8-9, so something like that year. This was I read it in this Les Bowen piece. But the thing is that was later in the season. They had been kind of picking up wins and they had been squeaking by wins, and it didn't seem like they were just getting pushed around. Now, the only thing that I think you can not hang your hat on, but you can kind of give them the benefit of the doubt is that this team is injured, dude. And we've been talking about it. Like, we have 4 edge rushers right now. 4 total.
It was 5 2 days ago.
Right. It was 5 2 days ago, but that's literally all we have. That's not enough. You know what I mean? And you don't have a star in there. You have all, like we were talking about the cornerback 2 position. You have a bunch of DN 2s. You're missing Nolan Smith, and then when you at D tackle, Jordan Davis is doing what he can, but he's missing the best player in that unit, and you don't have the depth, and it's rearing its head in the lack of physicality that this team is able to play with, because they're all nursing injuries or they're all playing too many snaps, and this is what the Super Bowl hangover comes from, right? It's just like they played 21 games last season. Only 2 teams played 21 games last season. And those games add up, right? Those are physical games. It's playoff football. And I mean, their best shot is just getting healthier. And I hope that resting those players, because like you said, Quell, like, I think it was unfair to say, like, I had a feeling during the pod, because that's not true. But it was like, once you saw the injury report, it was like, oh boy, this could be interesting. We'll see how this goes. And so, I hope that resting those guys, giving them time, I hope Q can come back sooner than we think, but those hamstrings are lingering issues. And we know that. We've seen that. You want him to just be healthy before he gets on the field, but it makes you nervous about the next couple of weeks and what they could look like if this team is still injured before we can actually get to the real bye. I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions that they need to answer. I think they have the right guys in the locker room to lead them there, but it feels like a lot of this frustration just comes from, similar to 2023, while we're still on the topic of just like, they don't feel like the answers are out there, right? And it just feels like they're just kind of going through the motions, and you cannot have that. And this is, and I haven't been on the pod to be able to say this, but even after the Broncos game, I was like, these types of things are on the head coach. This is like, Nick, this is what you were hired for, right? Like all these like kind of interpersonal issues, motivation, making sure they play every game, stupid penalties, all these types of things are the things that he stresses, right? And they're not showing themselves this year. And it can't just be like, we only have this when we're winning. You can't be a front running team, right? So you have to be, the onus is on him to be able to wake these guys up.
I wouldn't say that they haven't shown it. I mean, I'd like to think they haven't been as consistent as I'd like them to be in terms of them showing it. But I do think that, kind of like you said, they have to improve in the kind of like the core value areas, as Nick Sirianni would explain them to be.
And exactly. I'm not trying to say that they haven't ever shown it, right? Like they obviously have shown it. They won a Super Bowl. But you need to be consistent in these things. And for it to just be like, hey, 1 year, we're going to be the best at this, and there's going to be nobody, and we're beating the margins by so much, and then the next year, you're just the worst team by a margin.
I mean, in his whole role as a CEO, head coach, it's kind of what his job calls for right at the moment. And I mean,
no, but that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like, it's on him now, right? Like, he needs to get this ship straightened out. And like, look, you have the benefit of the doubt, dude. But this is the year where you again hired internally. It was your friend. You guys have to figure this out, right? Like, and that's what the optics are going to be, and whether that's fair or not. But it's true, right? We all said it at the beginning of the season. We were like, all right, maybe it would have been nice to maybe get somebody from outside, somebody to bring in new ideas. But hey, Patullo's been around Jalen and Nick. He's Nick's right-hand man. He knows his offense. You know what I mean? Like, it's the optics are going to be on him, right? And it's going to be like, okay, can Nick Sirianni not hire an OC? Because every time he's hired an OC,
I mean, he's only hired 2 OCs. The first one was Shane Steichen, who took him to a Super Bowl, and the next one was Kevin Patullo. I'm
Well,
pretty
okay,
sure
so
Brian Johnson
fine.
was a Philadelphia Eagles hire because wasn't the Panthers like in on him? They wanted to hire him as the OC, and
Right,
they didn't want to lose him and all that cool stuff.
but that was it wasn't like that wasn't Nick at all, right? Like the Kellen Moore one was the one where they were like, "Oh, we're bringing in somebody for you, dude. Like, hey, you don't have any choice in this. Like, we're bringing in Kellen Moore." The other times it's been his decision. So fine, Shane Steichen you can say, but that was like, you know, he brought him in. He was part of his original staff, but he didn't even want him to have play calling originally, right? And then he transferred over, which is you give credit where credit is due, 100%. But now it's Kevin Patullo. And like, listen, Patullo has shown us some stuff where I can get really excited, dude. Like some of the red zone packages earlier in the season, I can be excited about that. But it's the consistency between the 20s that's mind-boggling to me. Where it's like, hey, you're not like we asked for marrying the run in the past every podcast, dude. And it feels like we're just saying the same thing over and over again. But it's because they don't do it. There's no rhyme or reason. And it feels like this offense has been one that's just okay taking the punches and then trying to counter. I want an offense that's going out there and like giving the first punch. And then, yeah, of course you have to counter. You have to figure that out. They haven't shown the ability to counter after that first counter, right? Like we see first quarter looks really good. After halftime, we talked about halftime adjustments and Vic Fangio's whole thing and whatever it might not be. But for whatever reason, the last couple of weeks, teams come out and they start playing start playing zone coverage. Well, it's weird because, you know, last game, Jalen was better against zone and worse against man. I don't even know where to start with this offense. It's just so like it's the two wolves,
so incomplete.
Bro. It's the two wolves. They're either on or they're off. And it's like, dude, what is going on? And it's to the extreme. 1 week, oh, dude, we're killing it against zone. And then we're getting cooked by man. The next week, oh, we're getting cooked by zone. We're cooking in man. Just be normal.
I mean, it's kind of hard to be normal when you have no middle ground. And we've been sitting here as a fan base for weeks, sitting here trying to figure out who and why blame should be deflected to. And everybody has gotten their name pulled in the hat. You got people talking about wanting to trade AJ Brown. I didn't heard somebody talk about Tanner McKee needs to be playing over Jalen
Howard
Hurts.
Eskin, dude. What an idiot.
You hear a whole lot of things out here when things aren't going well, for lack of a better term. But how I see it, and the reality is it's everybody's fault. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles over the last few years, when they've operated to quote unquote perfection or played their standard of football, I don't want to say things were perfect, but for lack of a better term, you had a healthy offensive line. Whether you did or did not have Saquon Barkley, you were able to get production out of the running back room. Like you were kind of the running game opened up for the passing game and all this. And you're talking about the Eagles offensive line, who I don't believe they ranked any less in terms of run blocking rate than the top 5 over the last 4 years. And this year, I think they ranked around 16th or something like that. So just goes to show you the drop off like of a Jeff Stoughton unit. The Eagles aren't playing well anywhere. The play calling could be better, but when the play calling is good, the execution could be better, whether it's Jalen Hurts not making the pass, receivers not running routes all the way, or just timing being off, or when they decide to run the ball. It's like we complain about the offense being too simple. The offense has always been simple. Last year, the offense was simple. In 2022, the offense was simple. I mean, 2022. The offense was simple. The Eagles have never been at least under Nick Sirianni, a schematic-based team. We're going to simplify it and we're going to do the simple things the right way. The problem is when you're not doing the simple things the right way, and it's not just an execution of the routes or all that stuff. It's literally everything. Blocking, pre-snap penalties, nothing is going right. This offense can't work efficiently, especially because we just brought up of you're not doing anything creative to get your guys open. And I think that's part of where AJ Brown's problem is. Totally. Like it's one thing where when we're a well-oiled machine, everybody's executing perfectly.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a second. Yeah.
It's one thing when everybody's executing perfectly, we're a well-oiled machine offensively, but when we aren't, and you kind of keep trying to stuff the square peg in a round hole, we all look stupid. And now you got us all looking like we pointing fingers at everybody and making it seem like he's making a big deal when in reality, offensive execution, and that's just not just on the players. It's all everybody involved in this has to be better.
I mean, it's exactly it. Everybody's making it about, oh, he's got to hate Jalen or whatever it might be. Look, they might not be as close as they were in college. And like, that's okay. Friendships can change. Friendships can be, they evolve, right? With time. You're not going to spend all your time. AJ has kids. Jalen has a wife. Like, you're not going to spend all your time together as you did when you were younger. These things are natural and people want to make a big deal out of it. I think was it you or Pierre who I think it was you who tweeted about they've been friends since college. AJ wouldn't have come here if he felt like he wouldn't have wanted to come here if he thought Jalen had limitations, right? He didn't think Jalen could get him the ball. I think it really just comes down to the execution and the play calling, and he just feels like we're not being put in positions to succeed, and he's getting frustrated with that. I would get frustrated too if I'm next to Devontae Smith and we're just running backside hitches. Right? Like it's just like, dude, like there's got to be something else we can do. And it's got to be so frustrating that like you see like, oh, they're changing coverages on us. Our OC is not going to have any answers. It's frustrating and it breeds this feeling of like contempt and that just grows. And it's not just on Patullo, like we said, like he's probably not being able to do it because he doesn't feel comfortable in the O-line or whatever it might be. But things are not clicking. And it's frustrating because you're coming off of a Super Bowl win. AJ wanted this season to be about like, hey, like I can show that I can do stuff too. And nobody's done anything. And it's like, this is not what we do. This is not up to our level. And we lauded that about the Eagles last year, that like they have the standard that they want to play to, that they try to play to. And they showed that in the playoffs. They didn't necessarily show that throughout the season. But throughout the season, we haven't even been able to see nearly as many flashes as we did last year. And it's just as frustrating as it is to us.
How many flashes did we see last year, though? I think it was probably like 3 games.
Yeah, but like we saw totally agree, but we saw full games, right? That was the thing. Like this has been such a season of halves, and it's like mind-bogglingly different halves. And I think that's what's most alarming to everyone. It's just like, hey, one half you can look like, hey, we just won the Super Bowl. We know why we're your Super Bowl. And then the next half it can be like we're running like a chicken with our head cut off, and it's like this is not to the standard. And we get frustrated as fans. Imagine going every day to practice, running around all day, actually being on the team, and then you're not able to do anything. Put it all together on Sunday. It's got to be frustrating, and they know the talent that's in the room too. So I mean, to kind of put a bow on this conversation, and I'll let you get in what you want to say as well. But like, I think they have to get healthy. First off, I think having Matt Pryor in there is just killing a lot of drives, and Brett Toth, whoever it might be, like it's not working, and you need to have the starters out there, but they're not healthy. And so, the onus is on Jeff Stoutland to be able to figure out some ways around these injuries, but they're piling up. Everyone's playing a little bit injured, and it's week 6, right? Week 7, I guess, whatever it is. But they need to figure something out. They need an identity, and this is what we've been saying for weeks. You just need something you can hang your hat on. Maybe it's not that you're the best run blocking team this year, like you pointed out on your Steen kind of thread. Maybe it's like you're passing offense this year, but you need to figure it out, and you need to have answers when people change up on you. You just can't just be like, oh no, they changed. What are we gonna do? Like, I don't know. Like, we only prep for them to run man this week. Oh no, we only prep for them to run zone this week. You can't do that. You have to be ready for everything, for anything.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, I think it's a like you would call it the two wolves thing, where it's not completely on anybody specific. Yes, KP could be. He needs to be. Not could be. He has to be better in terms of overall in-game adjustments. You seem like you got your head on straight with how you want to attack the game when you get there, but then when teams start showing you different things, I'm still struggling to figure out, is it that you haven't adjusted? And to an extent, somehow it is somewhat of that. Or is it that your quarterback isn't executing? And I mean, again, it's a little bit of both, where Jalen also has to be better.
Totally agree.
From a man zone perspective. Mm-hmm. Understand just getting the ball out. And again, it's like we're going to continue to talk in circles because you sitting here, we talk about Jalen being better, Jalen getting the ball out, things of that nature. But if you understand your quarterback is one of those quarterbacks where people like to describe, he has to see the player open if he wants to throw the ball to him. If that's how you're going to describe Jalen Hurts, then why don't you kind of make players get seen open, run routes that can create open players or things? It's again, we're talking in circles about the whole conversation as to why it won't work. And I think it's a whole lot of everybody's fault, man. So they kind of they say that they sat down and talked through and kind of got some answers over this mini bye week.
Well, I think Quell just cut out, but we'll see if that conversation actually happened or not, or if it was just like a conversation by the car or something. I don't know. That's a callback to what AJ Brown said about the conversation between himself, Jalen, and Saquon. We got you back, Quell?
Yeah.
Oh, I said, well, let's hope those conversations actually happened, unless they just kind of happened by the car. I don't know.
Who knows nowadays? You know, everything kind of gets blown out of proportion in this city.
We'll see what happens, man. But it's been frustrating. I don't know. I don't think there's much else to say. I think you put it well. I mean, I'm a Gator fan and an Eagle fan. Eagles fan. I'd love to just see some creativity on offense. It would be really, really cool to scheme open the really talented receivers you have and to use the talented quarterbacks. But I guess I'm asking a lot. It's been a really just like, from a watching perspective, Quell, I got to be honest with you, it's been a miserable football season. It's been a couple nice W's, but like not fun football, dude. I just that's all I really got about it.
It just hasn't been, and it's a big difference between what I continue to say. I said the same thing last year, and I mean I continue to say it. It feels a little different this year, but still not too far off. But you don't expect them to be playing their best football in week 6, week 3. None of this. Like you want them to be playing their best football down the stretch. At the same time, it's a massive difference between just not playing your best football and
playing garbage.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is you don't necessarily expect them to be playing their best football at this point. Totally agree with you. But you want to see the upward trajectory. And it's felt like, woo. It's just been a total roller coaster where it can be like for one half, you're like, okay, they're figuring it out. Okay, let's go. And then the next half, it's like, dude, these guys haven't played football before. Like this is the first time they're doing this. And it's just frustrating. I mean, my frustration really boiled up when we just did 4 tush pushes in a row. I got it. I was like, okay,
it makes sense.
I get it. I get it. It's like, wow, we're so strong, but it felt so manufactured. And it was just like, all right, guys, like you guys have nothing else you can try to do. And why are you doing this when your O-line is injured? That's the other thing that's been pissing me off. They all talk about the toll that they feel like every time, like, oh, dude, Lane Johnson's like, yeah, I got like 2 people on my back and 1 guy on my neck. And it's just like, never feels good. And they're like, hey, let's do it 4 times in a row, even though half you guys are dealing with injuries. It's mind-boggling stuff to me. And we've broken out the halfback toss off of that, which was a touchdown once against the Bucks because we were mad. But it's just like, dude, like you don't have to do this to the players. You know, I get it, but 4 in a row, come on. Like if you're at the half-yard line, understand, tush push that baby in. You're at the 1, tush push that baby in. You're at the 4, dude. Give us something.
But it was 3rd and 1.
Well, yeah, but we did it 4 times in a row. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, dude, come on. Like that's kind of the feeling I had. Now it was like group chat was like, yeah, let them hang, let them know. But I'm just like, dude, like I get it, but these boys are hurting, man. Like the O-line is hurting. And every time we are asking them to do that, every time there's like a potential penalty waiting to happen right now, because they haven't been last couple of years, they've been very clean about it. You know what I mean? Like there weren't nearly as many offsides as we've been seeing this year. Maybe it's because they're focusing on it more, but it's just like, dude, this is like just asking for trouble. Just show that you have a little bit more in your bag, and it doesn't need to just be like, hey, all we can do is tush push. I get it. I get it. It's cool, but I don't know. Maybe I'm having tush push fatigue, but banning it is some soft shit. But sorry, swear jar. Dude, we were doing so well. Oh, we were doing so well. Oh, we said dog. I said poop hits the fan, stuff hits the fan, and I let it slip there. Oh my god. Brutal. Well, frustrated. I think that's
a great way to tie that part in together.
So, anyways, can we? Do you have anything else you want to talk about from that game, or can we move on to some of that Fangio stuff we were talking about in the chat?
So, just my final takeaways from the game, Please. My big picture takeaway.
Yes, sir. I think we lost him. I wasn't sure if it was just my Wi-Fi or not. But anyways, I think that about wraps up what we got with the Giants. And once he gets back, he'll give him a chance to get into that. But I want to make sure that we keep the show going for all the listeners and everybody who's here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Vic Fangio and 3 linebacker sets. I know I brought this up a little bit earlier in the season because Nakobe Dean is my guy. There's no question about it. I love the way he plays. I love his intelligence and just the aggression that he plays with. You back, Quell?
Yeah.
All right. You wanna give your takeaways? I was just moving on because I didn't want to just leave it there.
Just quickly, I don't know if the Eagles need to get healthy or if Nick Sirianni has to cut his hair bald again or what the case has to be, but the team just needs some juice. Right now, they're in the middle of a funk. And, I mean, it happens to the best of the football teams. We talk about all the time how winning the Super Bowl is really hard. Trying to repeat is even harder. It's a reason why only a select few teams have done it over the course of this time. So we kind of got to stay patient through the course, but they got to figure this out, man.
No other words, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. Figure it out. Push the button, you poke them with the stick. Do something. Do it. But anyways, I was talking about three inside linebacker sets before you got back to us. Now I know I brought it up earlier in the season, and people talked about Sean came on. He was like maybe, but there hasn't been too much historical precedence of Fangio doing things like that in his history as a DC. But last week had a lot of work, and so naturally I started procrastinating, and I just started doing some reading on my own about Fangio and 3 inside linebacker sets, and to see if there was any history. Because I was just thinking back to some of the teams, and I was like, we talked about some of the type of players that he likes, and I was like, there is some overlap here, and we have 3 great inside linebackers. If they're all healthy, there's no reason you don't want them on the field. And that's the perspective that I came at it from the beginning of the year at. It's just like, hey, if you get Nakobe, and he's back healthy sooner than we thought, but if you can get Nakobe back and healthy, then there should be a way you can get all 3 of these guys on the field because they're all star level players. Nakobe could go somewhere else and start, and he could be a legit, very good linebacker in this league. And so I thought there's got to be a way to get these guys on the field. And so looking back into historical context, when he was with, the Bears, he had Roquan, Danny Trevathan, and Leonard Floyd kind of in those same molds. If you kind of look at it, where you have Roquan Smith, obviously he's a little bit bigger than Nakobe, a little bit faster, but in terms of being able to play that kind of Mike, where you're just kind of in the center of the defense, green dot, calling the defense, letting everybody know what you need to do. Roquan Smith was able to do that. Then you had Danny Trevathan, who was able to do a little bit of the cover stuff, a little bit of the blitzing off the edge as well. And then you have that's where you kind of have Zach Bond. And then you have Leonard Floyd and Jihaad Campbell, who were just kind of these like freaky, longer edge rushers, but not. Roquan wasn't fully an edge rusher, but he wasn't fully a linebacker, kind of in that tweener mold. And that's kind of what Jihaad is. He's not as long as Leonard Floyd was, but he's still in that kind of mold of being kind of a twitchy guy off the edge who can kind of come and disrupt and create havoc. So he's had those types of players. And then with Miami, he also had David Long, Baker. I forget what his first name was. Javon, right?
Jerome.
Jerome Baker, and Jalen Phillips. Kind of similar kind of mold. Now Phillips is a little bit more of a defensive end than I would say some of the other guys are, but I think you kind of have some pieces there to be able to play with. And then what you have to do is if you have 3 backers and you want Cooper DeJean on the field as well, then you kind of need to move into a semi 3-man front. Now, obviously, you're having a fourth man come down from the linebacker position, but in those positions, now this is assuming everybody's healthy. I'd have Jordan Davis play your 0 tech, eat up the double teams, Jalen Carter as your 3 tech, and then you have Nolan Smith as your 5 tech power end, and then you have Zach Bond or Jihaad Campbell, depending on the play, coming down and being the other end on the other side. Now, I don't think this would change their roles too much. I think these are all things that they've been asked to do in the past, and I think they could do it. I just think with the way that teams have been able to run the ball on us, maybe this might be the answer. Now, you can make the argument that, hey, you're taking off a big body on the field for putting on one of the smaller linebackers in the league. But I also think that when these guys are able to see the ball, stay cleaner, and get after it, they're really good tacklers. And they can be kind of a nasty monster in the middle there because you have a lot of duplicity with Zach Bond and Jihaad Campbell. And Nakobe Dean has shown that he can play that Mike spot competently and be able to call the defense and understand what's going on at a very high level. And he's played linebacker his whole life. So I think there is an advantage there, but I'm interested to hear what you think, Quell, because the reason we bring this up is Vic Fangio historically on the Eagles has kind of been like, I don't know, we'll see, we have edge rushers, but we talked about it. The edge rusher room is bare. And they talked about Jihaad Campbell playing some edge. And I think this is a good, meet in the middle for, having Jihaad play edge and having him play linebacker and having to completely switch positions. I think this would be like a good happy medium. What do you think?
Ideally, on paper, it works perfectly. The problem with this is one. So Vic was asked about this today, actually, in his presser. And he was singing a completely different tune from what he sang last week when he was asked the exact same thing with Nakobe's return impending. Do you foresee Jihaad moving down the edge? Maybe not full time, but more often, just so we can get Nakobe on the field. And it was like, not really, not yet, at least. I mean, maybe we'll see what the future holds. And at the point in time, it gave off him kind of maybe being the mad scientist that he is, trying to figure out different ways to make this work. But then you fast forward to today, and of course, nobody foresaw Za'Darius Smith was retiring at the point in time. But fast forward to today when he was asked about it, and his answer was, "It's possible." Where again, singing a completely different tune for what he's saying, but he also got asked in more detail about what that could look like. And he said, well, outside of the handful of reps with the handful of packages that they had for him set as an edge rusher, he really hasn't practiced many edge. Like he's done a whole lot of.
He's not an edge. He hasn't practiced as an edge this year. He's practiced as a linebacker.
See, that first statement is partially untrue, but I was just about to get into this. That's the fun thing and the funny thing about Jihaad. And we really deep dived into this when draft season was around and when the pick was first made. And we talked about how he could possibly be used and what the defense could look like with Zach Bond and Jihaad Campbell. But Jihaad Campbell is really an edge. He got recruited out of high school as an edge and played for, we got recruited to a stacked Alabama team. The problem with him getting recruited as an edge is he was in a room with Will Anderson and Dallas Turner, so it wasn't really many snaps to go along.
I remember this. I remember this. Yeah,
for him, he
just switched positions to get on the field, right?
Exactly. So it's kind of a similar circumstance to where he is right now to where he was then. Where I mean, I can play edge. I got it in my repertoire, but most of my reps have been taken as an off-ball linebacker. Right. So it's just trying to figure out how to dibble and dabble there. The second part that concerns me.
Sorry, just a quick question. I know he had the history of edge, but he hasn't practiced with the edge unit with the Eagles, right? It's just been
just
purely
outside of those
linebacker.
handful of packages
Right.
they have for him.
Right,
Is
because that's
purely
what Vic
off-ball.
said is I just
Mhm.
want to train him at one position for now. Understood. I'm sorry. Now the second part you were saying?
The second thing that concerns me about this is, again, theoretically, this could work, but we're expecting Nakobe Dean to return looking like the Nakobe
Right.
Dean we last seen him as. And
Mhm.
I think we're forgetting that that's a pretty major injury that he suffered. So the fact that he's already back on the football field right now this early is a blessing for him, because we were talking about him,
November.
if that, like
In
later
November, like
on in
maybe
the
playoffs,
season.
yeah.
Right. Well, so for him to be back already, it's a testament to him and his work ethic. But getting back on the field is the first step.
Right.
Getting back to your playing style and especially in a guy on a contract year who, I mean, this tape is going to be the last tape that they have. I mean, of course, somebody may take a risk on you if it doesn't go well because of the past and how you performed. And like you said, he could be a starting linebacker on somebody's team. But man, if this doesn't go well, we could easily go from a situation where we're sitting here talking about, well, yeah, let's move Jihaad to edge, to we got to move Jihaad back off ball and figure out what we're going to do at edge. So
very true. Very, very true. But I don't know, man. I think if Vic is comfortable putting Nakobe on the field, he's got to be playing well to some extent. Now, agreed, he was playing out of his mind last year. Like he was like it was incredible that pick against the
Everything
Jaguars.
finally clicked, man.
It finally clicked. It was what I was talking about. It's kind of clicking for Devin Lloyd this year, which is kind of funny that pick six. But that pick that he had against the Jags, actually, Nakobe's in the back of the end zone, dude. I will never forget that.
Speaking of linebackers named Devin, did you see Devin White this week play out of his mind?
Yeah, you said the accountability group chat is getting talked to crazy right now.
Talking crazy in there.
I won my game. How'd y'all do this week?
See, I need to hold yourselves more accountable. See, I hold myself accountable over here. Accountable for touchdowns and tackles and interceptions.
Oh man, dude. It was painful, bro. That was painful to see. Where it was just like a tough weekend of football just to watch, man. Some of these games were just like brutal, dude. Just absolutely brutal
for
stuff.
You, man, after Thursday night football, everything went out the window. I was sitting here like it was March Madness. I was rooting for all the bad teams. Let's go. Beat them.
Well, the Dolphins choked.
Yeah, there's that, brother.
That was nuts, dude. I was like, how do you choke like this badly, dude? Like, come on, man. Like that was painful. But anyways, we have we're a couple minutes left. Let's should we get into a quick preview on the Vikings real quick?
I have nothing to say about the Vikings until Thursday. I'm on strike.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry to anybody who's listening to this expecting a Vikings preview pod. Sorry, Pierre. We're on strike. Okay. And I'm standing, this way. I'm standing with my union brother. All right. We're on strike. Crossing my arms. We're not talking about anything. Yeah. It is kind of one of those weeks though, to be honest with you. I was scrolling through for the content on my podcast app and was like kind of scrolling like Spotify. I'm like, all right.
Everybody's so busy talking about how the city's burning down.
Well, it is, dude. The Phillies lost. And then the Eagles lost. It's just like, and listen,
only
it
one
doesn't
man
matter.
can save this city.
Listen, you told me like, oh, you're gonna lose, but like, well, the thing is like you lost first, and that's all that matters to me. It might have been in the same amount of games, but you lost first, okay? And I got to celebrate it for a good 2 hours, 3 hours, and then I was right there with you. And misery loves company, so I'll be expecting a welcome basket anytime.
Don't worry, I already got your Roman Cabo paper.
Hey, let's end this on a little positive.
The
Joel
one man
Embiid
that can save
out
this
there
city
in the one-on-ones. Joel Embiid is also like, I don't know if you remember this, dude, but like in like 2014, 15, like when he was young, he used to just go out and like hoop with people like on the courts in Philly.
He's back out on the streets.
He's back, bro. He's been back out. That's what I've heard. And I'm heartbroken because I'm not there anymore, dude. And I'm like, this is the year they bring back hip hop. They bring back the jerseys, like everything that like I've been asking for the last like 15 years is being brought back as soon as I left, dude. And I'm like, my brother texted me and he's like, you know what? Like, dude, I genuinely hope we were a curse and they like win everything this year. Like, and I was like, you know what? Like, I love them enough where, like, yeah, my heart is with you, dude. Just please. Oh man, my Quell. I'm so all in. I don't even know what to tell you. I saw Joel win 1-on-1, and I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm seated. I'm in the chair, bro. I'm seated. I'm the man in the chair. Engaged. I'm engaged. I'm locked in, bro.
Leaned up.
I'm leaned up, bro. Oh my god. It just made me so happy. Honestly, it made me happy just to see him hooping again. Because there were so many questions of if he would even be able to do that again.
Yeah.
To see that and like to know what that guy's gone through, everything around that, like I'm happy, bro.
I'm just ready to watch Joel Embiid play basketball again, man.
It's been a long time, bro. And we all forgot just how good he was because we had to watch that trash Sixers team last year. And like it's because he wasn't playing. I hope the league understands now. Like that guy, they're not going to understand. He's just going to be one of those guys, dude, in like 20 years, people will be like, oh, dude, Joel Embiid was really good. And we're going to be like,
he just couldn't stay healthy.
But we're going to be like, yeah, duh. People are gonna be like, oh wow, he put up 70 in a game.
We gotta go to at least appear in the finals, man. I can't have my man and Brandon Roy conversations.
No, dude, but it's just so stupid because nobody talked about conference finals before. It's such like it's such an Embiid thing. Like, oh, conference finals are the line now. Okay, dude, like it used to be finals, and it used to be like okay, and a lot of guys just didn't get to finals. And like it was like okay, like that's just
we clown Carmelo Anthony for years because he never made the finals.
Right, the finals, but like he made the conference finals, right? But like then all of a sudden the goalposts were moved, and it was like, oh, you haven't made the conference finals. It's like, okay, dude, like fine. I'm sorry, Ben Simmons just melted down in the biggest moment of his entire life, and everything has gone downhill since then. Like there will be a documentary one day. All will be told. We'll be okay. But do you have anything, dude? This has been fun.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure talking ball with you. Please play better football, guys. Dude. I don't think my mental capacity can take anymore.
I mean, you're having to clean up Shamar diapers, like you said, Shamar poops. Like the least they could do is win for you. You know,
you don't even have to win. I mean, of course, I want you guys to win games, but like play better football,
competent football.
I am not trying to sit there and go to work for 40 hours a week. All week and then come home and watch y'all play like that.
And just to hear about it at work too. Everybody's like, oh,
don't even
the Eagles do. Well, you're okay after yesterday.
Yeah,
like, they can't really say anything to you.
I mean, finally, it took about 4 or 5 days to get to that point.
That's the worst part about losing on Thursday night. It's prime time. Everybody knows. Oh, Eagles lost. I'm like, yeah, I know. I watched it on prime time.
They don't even watch football. I'm like, why would you even know this?
Right, dude. It's the people and that's who makes me the angriest. I'm like, dude, you don't care about this. Do not talk to me about this. Like, I will actually get angry at you because I care about this, dude. I've cried about Eagles games in my life. Like, I bleed this shit, and you're gonna come here. Oh, the Eagles lost. Oh yeah, like. How the Falcons do? Well, the Falcons won, but like how the Falcons do a couple weeks ago. Remember when the Panthers put 30 on your head? I remember. Dang. That's what I'm having to do. I'm arguing with Falcons fans.
Crazy.
I'm arguing with Falcons fans, Quell. Like we need to do better, so I don't have to. So Lions don't concern themselves with the opinion of sheep. But right now we're playing like sheep, bro. Yeah. Playing like sheep. And I think that's about where we leave it, man. Stop playing like sheep. Be the lion.
It's like that rich man when we got to file for bankruptcy and you go from eating shrimp and caviar to baked beans.
Out the can. Out the can, cold beans. That's what the Eagles are making us do. They're making us eat cold beans out the can right now, dude. What? Stop making us eat beans. Give us a decadent meal. All right. I want to sit down. I want to put the napkin right here. You know what I mean? I want to tuck the napkin in here.
Point, I just take anything that's not beans.
Pizza?
Hey,
pizza?
Delivered pizza, no DiGiorno.
No, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
Oh, my gosh.
I hate DiGiorno, dude. I'm taking delivery every time. Domino's for life, baby. Let's go. You know I'm repping. Always. Till the end. Let's go. Domino's 21st Street. I'm with y'all always, man.
But until a couple of days from now, where hopefully we're in a better space and place to talk Eagles football, maybe it's a little sunnier. Appreciate all It was 76 at a point. Shout out. That's a
Ooh,
sign.
that's auspicious. That's
That's a
auspicious.
sign. But shout out to the 76 that were in here.
Shout out Ice for commenting. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. That tush push sequence was OD. 100%. Not OF, but OD. He corrected. He's good. Appreciate you, man.
I mean,
And
I don't know,
appreciate
man.
you here.
I think that tush push sequence was OF too. It was
I-
very OnlyFans for me.
Only
Do
for
it
the
again.
sickos. Only for the sickos. The OnlyFans for me was when they tossed the ball, and I was like, "Oh my god, they did something different." I was like, "Wow, this is amazing. We've waited 3 years for this because the last time they tried it, it didn't work." Do you remember that? Who was it against? They tried the tush push, like tried something off of it, didn't work. Was it the Niners?
I want to say it was the Bucks.
Was it the Bucks? Is that why they did it? That's so Sirianni. That would be the most Nick Sirianni thing possible. Be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it this year because it didn't work last time. Hilarious. But Pierre, also big congrats to you on the new place. We're excited to see the new studio on Thursday. But listen, review, subscribe, rate, 5 stars. You know the whole deal.
No more dollars.
Dollars, dude. Listen, the dollars are available. If somebody goes and does like the what would it be, like the trifecta, whatever it might be, send me a screenshot. That would also mean interacting with us, but hey, it's tough. We're kind of weird, so I don't know. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Thanks, everybody.